Well, I want to put out the sad fact that U.S. corporations that are flush with cash are actually been hoarding more cash overseas than ever before, by many times over than what even was 10 years ago. Believe it or not. Part of it's probably to avoid taxes. Maybe it's under restricted cash. Maybe it's going to be hoarded in other assets, but it's actually in cash. Cash. And in 2005, there was about $500 billion being hoarded overseas by U.S. corporations. $500 billion. That's a hell of a lot of money. Now, as of 2014, it's $2.1 trillion. You know, they make the money over here, and even if it's from importing stuff from China or India or wherever, they're still making the money over here. And guess what they're doing? They're keeping the money overseas. So you wonder why the economy's bad? There's part of the reason. But the economy's only good at a certain point, right? Only for those that are too big to fail with the big egos. Now, I also want to state something here because a lot of people talk about, hey, you know, silver isn't going to really fight them. Yeah, silver's only one aspect of the whole deal. You know, it's a part of the mosaic. It's one of the ingredients in the major concrete mix that we got to use to put the cement shoes on these yo-yos and throw them back in the Hudson River where they belong, right? You know, you just can't use sand. You just can't use, you know, you got to have the whole mix right there. And when you mix it up the right way, you can encase them and throw them in a freaking deal. You know, I almost said communist, but you know, it's the CEOs. Or basically, they are communists because monopolistic capitalism has a hell of a lot in common with communism. You know, competition's a sin. You know, the people on the top run the whole show. The people on the top get all the benefits. And you know what's going on here in the United States? Corporate profits are up. CEO pay is way the hell up. You know, CEOs, the freaking pay disparity between CEOs and the working class is getting ridiculously, you know, divergent. But I also want to tell you again that in Russia, it's even far worse. It's far, far worse, and I'm going to get onto that a little bit later on this video here. But the thing is, what's going on with the American worker? Productivity's got to go up higher. Wages are going lower. Benefits are going lower. Jobs are going lower. You know, you see this in Wally World. You know, they don't like to hire full-time people because that means they got to pay them benefits. They keep it just right below the thing. They want to keep their salaries just right below a certain level so these people qualify for, you know, the poverty level of things, and they also have benefits, I guess, with the health care because they're below a certain level or they're not working so many hours. But hey, the corporation's making more money. But I have to tell you this, you know, another area too where the corporations are making money is pharmaceutical. You know, Bill Gates came out with this spiel about the freaking the vaccines are going to cure everything in 15 years. You know what? I don't trust that guy at all. I'm going to tell you one thing right now while we're talking about this, because I put out a lot of stuff about, you know, medical and healing with frequencies and stuff like that. There's a doctor in Australia. He's been doing this for 30 years. He's been using radio wave type frequencies. He's a medical doctor. He's not somebody that's a researcher. He's a real medical doctor. He's been curing cancer for 30 years with radio waves. Most of the patients he gets is actually are like so far gone. They're figuring they're going to die in like 2 months, if you know, whatever. You know, their last hope is aggressive chemotherapy and radiation therapy and all that type of stuff. He charges actually the net what people actually have to pay for the treatment is $1,000 for 3 weeks of treatment, for the whole 3 weeks of treatment for all the multiple sessions. It winds up costing each patient $1,000. He's you know, he's a real problem for big bucks pharma. But you know, that's the whole deal. Everything's all about money, isn't it? But you know, it's almost like they're creating a situation where, you know, big bucks pharma yo-yos are going to be victimized by their own freaking crap eventually. Hopefully, I'd say hopefully. I say hopefully because that's really what I want to see happen. I tell you the truth. You know, it's just like everything else. But you know, they're keeping the profits overseas. They're not coming here back to America. That's partly why you're not seeing the inflation. They're hoarding cash. And it's not being hoarded here in U.S. banks. It's in Credit Suisse. It's overseas. It's in Switzerland. A lot of it. Also, like corporations doing a double Irish. You know, like I think Microsoft was one of them, and also Apple was another one. You know, it gets me, too. You know, these corporations are making a lot of money, too, even by policies that are dictated by the barrel of a gun because, you know, basically who the hell runs Congress? You know, money, right? And, you know, who the hell dictates policy as far as even what foreign policy is through the president? And guess who he's owned by, right? You know, who he's always been owned by. Yeah, you think he's the maverick candidate that came out of nowhere? Hell no. He was groomed for that position from day one. But, you know, it's like, you know, Smedley Butler even told us about this damn deal. You know, it's almost like, you know, the same old thing is going on today as always been. You know, war is a racket. And that's basically how these corporations are also making money. You know, some of the biggest, the military-industrial complex. You know, I even want to state, too, I walk in Walmart. Sometimes I see stuff made in USA. You know, and I think it's made with prison labor, made in USA. You know, I saw a tool chest, plastic, you know, like a fiber plastic type thing, made in USA. I said, wow, that's a good deal. It's only $17. How come it's so cheap? I bet you it's made with prison labor. Walmart, right? Yo, baby, tell me how to freaking make their money. And they put a flag on it, right? What the hell? Why don't they put iron bars on the fucking thing? You know what I mean? Crying out loud. That's what I really think it was. You know, I can actually state a lot of different things on here, but I probably have to put out a separate video because I don't like, you know, because then people think I'm freaking just trying to game it with making a lot of videos. But, you know, I'll tell you the truth, I put out videos that are fucking way different from most of the yo-yos out there, and I don't listen to what the hell the yo-yos say. I give you the real facts. But, you know, they actually changed it's from 500 billion to 2.1 trillion in less than 10 years that they're hoarding overseas. A lot of it's to avoid taxes. So you wonder what's going on. Why is the government broke? Corporations are getting away with it, man. Hey, man, if you're going to allocate your taxable income to a tax haven, guess what? Bye. It's gone. You know, it's not in the jurisdiction of the American IRS. If you allocate that income over to another entity that's in a tax haven country, guess what? Goodbye. You don't see it anymore, right? You know, so I mean, you know what gets me too? You know, the tree huggers are the ones, a lot of ones that buy these Apple phones and these iPhones and these Apple Watches and stuff like that. All that stuff's made with slave labor in China. Even the materials that go into the Chinese product, they're coming from India, and they're made with slave labor. They're using kids as minors, 8-year-old kids as minors. They're killing them, you know, in some cases, or they're going to have major health problems by the time they're 25, you know, from all the stuff they're dealing with, you know, nickel mines and things like that. You know, but you know where all the profits are going to? The soup up in freaking in the USA. And that's a fact with Apple. I forgot the statistics off the top of my head, but you know, they make a lot of money in Apple. And you know where it's going? It's not, they're not making the product here. It's made in China. But these tree huggers are buying this stuff left and right. And I'm like, yo, man, what the hell are you doing? Why are you supporting this crap? So hypocritical. You know, I saw a video, what the hell was it, Pete of Southwest Custom Rod put out about the Apple Watch. And, you know, it says it's a bunch of bullshit for freaking $500. What do you think the hell you're getting? You know, what is it? You know, they pump it up like somebody's ego's got to have this damn thing. It's like the latest, greatest. But it's a piece of garbage, man. I got a wind-up watch, man. I got an Android phone. You know, I don't freaking, you know what? I didn't even pay. What I did, you know what I did? I didn't want to buy from the corporation. I bought from a retailer on eBay that had like a mint, 100% perfect used Android smartphone. Got it a couple years ago. And this way I don't have to go I don't have to be messing around with contracts. And, you know, just do it that way, right? But it's just as good as any damn thing out there. It does all the freaking crap I wanted to do, you know. It's got all the freaking, most of the features that anybody really uses anyway, you know. So, I mean, you can actually even get some of this junk without even going through the freaking major corporations. You know, that's my point. And that's really how you have to freaking stop them, because these major corporations, they're not about the USA. It's all freaking image. They're all about image control too. Oh, big time, man, big time. So, you know, you as an individual, you're better off just picking up your hammers and your tools, doing your stuff, because that's probably more important than silver. But, you know, silver's actually important to that too, because one of these days that cash is going to be coming back here to the United States. It will be repatriated. And guess what's going to happen to the inflation for then? It's going to skyrocket, because, you know, that's been the problem. These corporations and banks are flush with cash that's not being spent here in the United States or in the economy. They're just sitting around like a bunch of piranhas or wolves or whatever the hell it is, waiting for you to have a problem where you need you got a cash problem, you got to sell off an asset for pennies on the dollar. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. That's their whole game plan. So, I don't want to make this a doom and gloom video, and also I want to tell you this. In Russia, in Russia, it's far more skewed. The wealth disparity is far more skewed than here in the United States. As a matter of fact, if you even want to talk about that and be a reporter on that, say for instance, I was just so talked about Walmart and Microsoft, and I talked about Apple. If I was over there in Russia, bad mouthing the freaking oligarchs companies, there'd be like the goons trying to come after me, and I'd have to be freaking armed to the teeth and freaking whack them before I even got a whiff of the freaking shit coming over at me. You know what I mean? That's exactly what would be happening, because being a reporter on any kind of corruption in Russia is the most dangerous profession in the world. That's a fact, Jack, man. That's what I'm going to tell you that right now. So, we got it bad here, but we don't have it anywhere near as bad, and we still got the tools. Actually, the crap that's going on today has been the same kind of crap that's been going on for a long time. People kind of got to fought it, but they didn't fight it good enough. And, I guess the only thing is, with these rich bastards, give them a taste of their own medicine. You got to be freaking thinking about number one all the way. I would not support any. I don't give a damn if it says USA all the way. I support corporations that are owned by smaller entrepreneurs. That's the only ones I'll support, period. That's why, dealing on your Craigslist and your eBay is probably better off than freaking going in these big box stores all the time. The only thing I use Walmart for is to freaking, get some food once in a while, but and pretty much everything else, I don't do that. I don't deal with those yo-yos, man. And, I've been picking up on the fact that probably a lot of stuff that they say is made in the USA is probably made with prison labor. I'm like, yeah, really? You know what? Screw that. If I don't see who makes it, I don't know who makes it, I'm going to assume you got some, you freaking picked up somebody for a bag of weed and you got them as a prisoner, as a slave for freaking 10 years making your shit for $1 a day. So, I got to tell you, one thing, what comes around goes around, because we need to apply these rules to these assholes on the top, and that'll be the end of the situation, period. So, just want to tell you again, though, that the situation is grave, but it's not impossible, and it still is a hell of a lot better over here than it is in freaking communist China or in Russia. And I know there's a lot of freaking trolls out there paid by the Kremlin. That's a fact, Jack. There's a lot of trolls that are on it. There's a whole company out there. There's a whole freaking load of them paid by the Kremlin to go around on the internet and freaking put all this bullshit out about, if you put something out on Putin, they'll freaking be over there going, ooh, that's no good. They're paid, man. And don't you freaking Americans go figure it out. Don't you figure it out, man. Figure it out. I don't know if we, maybe we got people over here in the U.S. doing that. But I know one thing, I ain't one of them, because I ain't getting paid for this shit, from them. I don't get. That's another thing. Some people saying I got paid from the CIA. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I put shit out on the CIA too, man. What the hell? I put stuff out on the government, man. I put stuff out on everybody. I'm totally independent, so I don't listen to nobody. My own gig. So that's the way it goes. So anyway, just remember, these corporations don't have you in mind. They got them in mind. So when they see some fancy shit that cost like a gazillion dollars at some of the latest technology, like a watch for $550 from Apple, tell them to go screw. That's what I say.